What I'm going to show you is 3 different kinds or levels of analysis you can do when you're doing thick description. This kid gives me a personal set of insights into youth culture that you can't get. You know, 15-year-old black kid from sort of the rough northern part of Dorchester. And I'll tell you a little bit more, and there's more about him, more detail about him in this. This is the kind of stuff where, you know, it's really, as it sounds, very, you know, lots of detail. Quotations, answers to questions, diaries, memos, and the like, these sorts of things that you can get a hold of, or eavesdropping and hearing conversations where you're more of a passive observational researcher, or you can be a participant observation researcher where you're involved in the conversations. This is what I did at the Mohawk site. This is certainly what I am by definition in Big Brothers. The mid-level includes these sort of social interaction patterns, the things people do. It could be greetings and sign-offs, structures of conversations, rather than detailed single quotes that you see there, as well as some leadership behaviors. You might start to notice who here is the opinion leader in this group, in close to home. Either somebody's wearing a badge, or you can start to figure that out. And how do people respond to the opinion leader or the leader of various guises. And then macro level evidence is where you start to wax philosophical. You start postulating about cultural values, the meanings of these broadly practiced rituals, from Balinese cockfights to beating up pieces of technology. And I then said, hey, what are you doing there? Basically, you've got the script here. What's up with all the texting, pal? Nothing, just talking. I fixed that to talking or typing. What are you doing? Try to get them to think about it a little bit more. The whole foundation of Big Brothers Big Sisters is talk, is conversation. That's how we do it, and that's how we're actually told to do it. Have conversations, see what they're doing in their life. I took this little kind of class to become a mentor, and then you get these things constantly, these emails, the latest way to have a conversation or whatever. And by the way, this has become a big problem because it goes to the core of what Big Brothers Big Sisters is all about. So I knew what was going on here. I was trying to get back to talk and conversation. I actually use this as a way to try to get back to that. You see the mid-level analysis where I step a little bit away and try to understand some of his motivations. And so I was really engaged in this effort to understand what it meant to him, what role it was playing right now in terms of altering my identity as a big brother, but also just as a friend to this guy. And I found that I told him what I think might be going on that he might not think about sometimes, and he ultimately agreed with me. Yeah, that could appear rude. Any questions so far on maybe the work that you've done to this point, and whether you think it maps most closely onto micro, mid, or macro level analysis?
So I would say that up until this point, I would say it's been mostly macro because we've been learning in class and learning in at home, reading or whatever about the subject, about the topic for our class.
Level and macro level stuff, and then to get your feet dirty, you might
go to events or go out into the community and work on
and observe and think. And I think the thinking and the observation goes together, but you can also sort of get into this sort of cycle where you have to eventually go away for a little while and write things down.
I have a question for you. How would you suggest, how do you take a stance, in your opinion, between sort of playing the role of an anthropologist but not wanting to come across
Voice recorder at times, but people would be pulling a draft horse out in the field, and I would just be there along with them in my shit kickers. So really, Tom, so just tell me more about what happened when you guys first got that web page up, and I'd be going along with the Belgian draft. This is what you have to do. You have to get in there. You have to roll up your sleeves, quite literally, and just try to get into their system. De-emphasize as much as you can your role as this outsider.